Hey everyone, it's been a while. I hope you're all having fun in the new expansion. So there's quite a lot of videos that I want to make about the Dragoon changes and stuff that I want to show. But for today we're starting with just a quick video on how to start your auto attacks faster when you're gap close into a boss at the start of a fight. So how come there's even a delay on your first auto attack? On Dragoon, both of our gap closers have an animation lock of 0.8 seconds. This means that for 0.8 seconds after using them, you cannot use a different action. These gap closers don't start your auto attacks by themselves. Your first auto attack will start when you press an offensive action like True Thrust. This means that normally, you will press your Wind Glide or Elusive Jump, wait for the 0.8 second animation lock to finish, and then your first auto attack will be synced at the same frame as if you use True Thrust. However, it's important to keep in mind that animation lock has nothing to do with your auto attack. Whether you're star divering, elusive jumping, or doing whatever, you can always auto attack during animation lock. This means that as soon as you reach the boss with your gap closer, regardless of pressing your GCD, you should theoretically already be able to auto attack. Now for elusive jump, it takes 0.7 seconds from max range to reach max melee range. Using Winged Glide from max range takes about 0.45 seconds to reach the boss. This means that normally, when you use Winged Glide, there is a 0.35 second window where you are standing there and theoretically could be auto attacking. We're going to use that to already start our auto attack sooner than normal. How do we achieve this? In order to do this, we're going to need to manually enable our auto attacks since the game doesn't do it for you. A few ways to do this are the auto attack button in the action and traits menu, a confirm keybind, or by right. The simplest way to do this is to use your gap closer, and at the end of your movement lock, meaning you land your elusive or you reach the target on Wind Glide, you have a small window where you can mash your keybind for confirm to start your auto attack. The game doesn't give you a very big window, it doesn't let you queue this up during the gap closer animation itself, you have to press it when you reach the target. However, the issue is that this doesn't let you time it very precisely. You might get a 0.3 gain, you might get a 0.2 gain, you might get a 0.1 gain doing this. And as will be explained later, part of the reason this is good is because you can precisely time your auto attack. So an alternative solution is that when you enable your auto attack out of combat, you will enter a loop where every 1.0 seconds, your character will attempt to auto attack, but because you're not in range, it will fail and it will go back inside that loop. During this, even if you enter melee range, as long as you leave melee range before the loop finishes, you will never auto attack. It will only go off precisely at that 1 second point. Because of this, we're going to have to time our gap closer in a way that it reaches the boss right before the 1.0 second loop finishes. That way, we can use our auto attack before using our True Thrust. Unfortunately, the only consistent way I found to time this is by using a plugin. If you're on vanilla, you will either have to manually time it or find some animation lock that works for you. For example, you can enable auto attack and then weave food or weave a different ability that has a perfect animation lock to time it manually. If you're not against using third-party tools, I recommend turning on the decimal weight option in the reaction plugin. That way, you can make a macro like this, where you can precisely configure how long the game waits between turning on your auto attacks and using your Wind Glide. This way you can very consistently pull this off. Now you may be wondering, what is the point of doing this? First, I would like to explain that you're not early pulling when you do this. Because of the fact that a boss only gets aggroed when it's hit by an attack, and not when an attack is prepared on them, combined with the way aggro ticks work and the speed of your gap closer, it is quite common for you to use True Thrust 0.1 seconds before the boss is aggroed. Even when you use your auto attack this way, at most you're using your auto attack 0.35 seconds before your True Thrust. Since your auto attack applies after 0.53 seconds, this will still give you the 0.1 second extra GCD roll that you may have gotten otherwise. Now for what you've all been waiting for, how much do you actually gain by doing this? First, I would like to mention that an auto attack on Dragoon is worth about 84 potency at the moment. This means that the main benefit from doing this, which is cutting around 10% off the timer of your auto attack, is worth less than 10 potency and opportunity cost. Furthermore, you have to be very careful with your buffs when you're doing this. For example, if your first auto attack is more than 0.3 seconds before your GCD, it will cause your second auto attack to happen before Spiral Blow. This means your second auto attack will be missing the 10% buff from Power Surge and essentially lose your entire gain so far. There are two reasons you would be doing this. Either because you know the enemy is going to go untargetable or die right before landing your final auto attack, meaning that this small gain of time is enough to gain essentially an entire auto attack in value. The second reason is because your 20-second buffs, Battle Litany, Lance Charge, and Life of the Dragon can all barely squeeze in an 8th auto attack instead of the standard 7 when their buff applies 0.4 seconds before your auto attack. This means that with very precise planning for a fight, you may be able to gain one or multiple buffed auto attacks for potency gains in a fight. So yeah, this is definitely the most useless video I've made so far. You're fine to forget about this, but I wanted to make this video since it's kind of entertaining and funny, and for the few people who might want to use this. So I hope you had fun watching, and I hope you have fun playing Dawn Trail. Goodbye.